Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. We're delighted to say that Sunderland have got a point out of the game with the, I'm not going to say last kick of the game, last moment of the game, because we'll come round to that, Danny. But a decent game for a Friday night. I'm sure lots of neutrals will have enjoyed that in their sitting rooms around the world as well. But I think a point was fair in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think we had good spells in the first half. Leeds had their best spell of the game, really, in that sort of 20-25 minutes in the first half and got the equaliser. Then obviously second half they get the early goal really, and after that they almost sat off us and sat on the 2-1 lead, invited us into the game. I don't think we really created too much in the second half. We had a lot of ball, but to be fair to Leeds, they defended quite well, and as you say, that moment right at the end of the game, you think, well, time's up, long ball forward, and you think it's an easy one for Melia to deal with, but he makes a mess of it, and yeah, we're taking a point from it. So overall, as you say, I think fair result for me.
Let's look back at the action from the game then here at the Stadium of Light this evening. There was a wonderful atmosphere in the first half, in particular that first 15 minutes or so, especially following on from Chris Riggs' goal, of course, as well. And that's what got us rocking. But there were some early moments as well.
Yeah, no, I thought we started really well first 10 minutes tonight. Got the ball down, passed it really well, especially down our right-hand side where we had some good openings, good interplay there. And Job, he had a few sighters in the first half, and this one, Patrick just bobbles it into him rather than a crisp one across the floor for him to come onto, and just gets underneath it slightly, Joe. But you know, I thought he was excellent for me. Our man of the match this evening, Joe. I thought his energy, work rate across the pitch, on the ball as well. He was excellent all round. But yeah, it was a good game really. You can see both sides why they're up there and why certainly Leeds will be expected to be amongst it. Obviously the depth in their squad, and it was a good test for us. We said before the game, yes, we beat Burnley here earlier in the season. But coming up against the Leeds side, who are fancy to go up this season, we more than held our own this evening, didn't we? And
yeah, here's the goal.
Got into it, and here's the goal again down this right hand side. Lovely link-up play, isn't it? Patrick back into Trey Hume, fizzes it across. Isidore gets a little bit on it. Dennis thinks he's scored. Good save, to be fair to Melia on this occasion, across his line. But then, thankfully, as I say, Chris Rigg, he's back on his feet, and he's there 2 yards out for a tap-in. And we probably, for me, deserved it at that stage. We were the better team up until that point. And it's just strange how football works. We go and get that goal. We've had some good spells, moved the ball well, and then all of a sudden we sat off Leeds and said, right, now we've scored, let's have a look what you can do. And it's just strange how football can work like that.
Yeah, a great moment there when Chris Rigg puts Sunderland ahead on the 8th minute, but then Leeds come back, don't they? And they really come into the game.
Yeah, they did, yeah. They pinned us in, and it's strange in a way. As I said there, we almost sat off them, but there's got to be triggers when it goes back. You've just got to bump up 5-10 yards, and you can feel that the crowd, when you don't do that, the crowd sort of get on top, and you can hear it. It goes quiet from our point of view, and you're inviting the pressure on. And it is difficult at times. I've been there as a player, you know, and they move the ball well at Leeds. They force you back in. They try and make the pitch narrow, and then we'll get onto the goal. It actually comes from a lovely ball in, doesn't it? But they're too wide forwards. Come really narrow off Perot at times, and they tried those little threaded balls, and we'd actually handled them quite well. See here now, they're almost reluctant to go wide at times, but then it's unlucky in a way. Job tries to cut the pass off into the front man there, passes it into the path of Nonto, and as we said there, he probably is a shoulder offside, isn't he? If you get the lines out there, I think he's leaning maybe, but take nothing away from it. Lovely ball in. I thought Willie Nonto was their best player this evening, offensively and defensively, helping out Bogle at right back, but it's a lovely ball in. I wouldn't pin any blame really. It's hard there, as you say. Chris Metton probably thinks I'm in a good position. I'm 2 yards in front of him. Luke's got dragged out near post. Chris is there defending that sort of flat ball in, but it's just enough pace and dip on it over the top of him, and then Perot's just there to guide it in.
Joe Perot gets his 4th goal of the season, and Leeds really started to turn the screw a little bit at this point.
Yeah, after they got their goal, the difference to what we did, where we sat off, Leeds then thought, you know, we're going for them here. They had a 10-15 minute spell. We struggled to keep hold of the ball. As soon as Leeds lost it high up, they went after us, and they took it back off us, and you could just feel it, and it almost felt it here now, like situations like this where we're trying to play out and they're onto us, and they're getting bodies forward. You see Leeds 3-4 bodies in there, and there's yes, Nonto this occasion, isn't it, with the left foot and up and over the top really. So at times you know you're going to have to dig in coming up against the side like this, but you've got to ride it out, and we managed to do that. And then I thought sort of 35-40 minutes onwards to the end of the half, we actually finished strong again. So Leeds had a good spell, 20-25 minutes in either side of that for me in the first half. We were perhaps the better team.
Yeah, just looking through some more of these moments as well from the first half, and there's Patrick Roberts going for the near post on this occasion. Job had about 3 chances in that first half, didn't he?
Yeah, another one coming up, I think now, isn't it? Yes, pretty similar to the one where Patrick bobbled it into him before. This one is on the carpet, isn't it? It's there across for him to come onto it, and just doesn't catch it flush, does he?
If anything, Rodon's
touch
could have took it past Meslier.
Wrong foot's Meslier, doesn't it? He's probably comfortable with that one, and then just after, he's got another one there, and they've all 3 of them are pretty much from the same spot, aren't they? And that one there, you know what he wants to do. Lovely little ball into him from Dan Neil, slipped into him, and he's just trying to feed it into that far corner, but it's just past that post. And this is
big
penalty
shout
shot
for a penalty on this occasion.
I don't think it is. I think you agree as well, don't you? You know, Sunderland fans might have a different. See there now, look, he fishes his leg round him, but I don't think he's got anything on him. He hasn't got anything at the ball, but I think Romain goes down looking for it, if we're honest, and I don't think there's anything in it for a penalty for me. But it was a difficult one for Romain tonight, and the fact that, as I said, Nonto was excellent in helping out. You see there, every time he received it, Romain, he put a little 10-15 yard burst in to get back alongside him to double up and make it difficult. But what I like about Romain, I said it on comms there, he doesn't give it up. Yes, he'll lose the ball, but he goes after people and he wins it back for us, which is a good trait to have.
Let's look back through some more of these moments for Sunderland. He's offside on this occasion. Frustrating night for Wilson.
Yeah, he'll be in there now thinking, I haven't had too much to go off this evening. He's had a couple of balls where second half, I think it was Romain actually fizzed one across, it went out the other side, and then he held out and it come back across, I think. So yeah, it is. Sometimes it goes like that for strikers. You know, he wasn't in, I think 10-15 minutes at the start of the second half, I couldn't remember him touching the ball. Not really through much of a fault of his own, really, just handled well at the back. And we didn't have too much of the ball at the start of the second half when Leeds had it.
Second half now.
Yeah, and it was all about, as I said, once Leeds got the second goal, what they didn't do when they got the first one, they went after us and tried to get a second, whereas at the start of the second half, they get the second goal, and then they almost play within themselves, I feel, whether that come from the touchline or the players or credit to ourselves. You know, we took the game by the scruff of the neck and knew that we had to come and have a go at them to try and get something from the game. But they were sloppy on the ball, but here's the build-up now, so it's that long ball, wasn't it? We didn't win first contact. And then Firpo's carried on his run. I think Patrick switches off there. Just keep the top of your screen now as the ball transfers across. You can see Patrick there now. You know, look where the left back is. So really, that 10-yard run, get yourself back in. Trey then tries to make a challenge. Can't get there. It's a little give. Little ball out wide into Nonto. Feeds it back, and it just passes it, doesn't it, across. And then I'm not sure whether it goes past Luke's left leg or through his legs, but we don't clear it. And then you're thinking, as we said, this is it now, isn't it? Look, there, gets the ball, and it should have been a throw into Leeds rather than a free kick. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about for Isidore, trying to get there, which we've pretty much seen from his couple of goals he scored this week. But yeah, it was Job actually, sorry, not Romain, that fizzed that ball across. Good defending by Struijk, to be fair, matches him all the way, and the ball goes out the far side. Romain again now. Yeah, this one is it. Trey on the rise, isn't it? It tries to cut across it, and
you feel like in that second half in particular, if Sunderland would just to show a little bit more finesse in these situations, that they can do, like players like Trey Hume can do, you know, they would have had more shots on target. You know, that's
of course. But you know, we've come out of it again tonight with 2 goals. So although you feel like we haven't perhaps created as many clear-cut opportunities as you'd like as the home team, and for the amount of ball we had in that second half. You know, we've got ourselves a couple of goals, haven't we? So, you know, a Leeds side, as we mentioned before, who in the last 4 away games have only conceded the 1 penalty, which was on 1 goal from a penalty on Tuesday night at Norwich. So we've managed to put a couple past them, and then you can always stand here like we are now and break goals down conceding. But the second one, I think, when Regis and the staff see it back, yes, it was a throw-in and not a free kick down here, but there was still a lot that happened after that, and we didn't deal with the first
Here's
ball.
a goal, Danny.
And it is now. It's a strange one. Let's have a look. Yeah, Job does well. As I said, he wins it. And then Alan Brown, I think he's trying to help it back in there. You'll see it from the other one now. Tries to put the ball back in there, and it cannons off Firpo. And then I'm not sure what's going on with Meslier. You know, we've seen it back. We were thinking as it spun. Look there, Firpo straight off his face. So it'll go down as an own goal, yeah. I don't think it's on target from Alan Brown, is it?
His feet are all... But
it's bizarre. He's almost moved past the ball, hasn't he? And then got himself in a mess. You know, you'd be able to tell if it was spinning. It's a dry pitch, and then it goes the other way, almost, as I said, like a bit of a googly in cricket. But it doesn't move, and he got that bang on the head earlier on, didn't he, off his own player? I think it was Firpo. Did that interfere with him? I'm not sure, but it was a bizarre one. But we'll take it.
We will take it, and we'll take what the league table looks like as well now, please. We'll have a look at that as we go off into the weekend. Football's done on Weir's side for the next, well, few days now, after having played 3 games in 6 days. Sunderland are top, 19 points. Burnley, of course, play tomorrow, as do all the other teams south of Leeds as well.
Yeah.
I think in the end as well, Leeds will, they'll be unhappy about the circumstances of the draw.
Yeah.
But a point away at Sunderland, all things considered, before ball was kicked, they would have probably took that.
Yeah, possibly. And as the game panned out, obviously sometimes we talk and you say, I'll take a point away from home or vice versa, but judge it on what you've seen in the game. And as I said, for me, second half certainly we've had more possession. Again, we've just said we haven't done too much with it, what we would have liked in terms of creating opportunities. But yeah, at the end of the day, you take a point and you move on. We're sat there now at the table. Wouldn't have looked as nice now had we not have scored that goal there in Leeds. I think may have gone above us alphabetically, I'm not sure. But they'll be getting back on the coach in 10-15 minutes and they'll be kicking themselves. As deep down in the game as you are there, 96 minute just ticked on the clock, and then that happens. It's not as if somebody's put one in the top corner from 25 yards to earn us a point, is it? So it's disappointing. The goalie won't sleep too well this evening. But Alan Brown had a little smile on his face. He'll try and claim it, but I think it'll go down as an own goal in the end.
Yeah, they're just doing their cool down behind us. I don't know whether to grab Alan Brown and show him the goal and say, you're claiming that one, Alan.
That's not cool down. They're doggies then for the weekend for some of these boys who need a bit of a blow. Yeah, so
I wouldn't fancy that. 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it from us this evening here on SAFC Live. Next in action against Hull City, I think it is, down at the MKM. You can get your matchday streaming passes for that one now, if you are so inclined to see Sunderland already, straight away. Okay, then, don't forget to tune in to Sunderland's socials for the first reaction from the first team coach, Regis Lebris, of course, and the first team player. Head over to our socials for that as well. And don't forget that you can watch the full 90 as well, 24 hours after the game on SFC's YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.